Hey, one and all, thank you so much for being here to read again. It is such a pleasure having you here, guys. And today we are going to read. Guys, comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're from and how you're doing today. Tell us where you're from and also how you're doing today. We'll appreciate hearing from you. As always, guys, don't forget to also share this live out. Share it with a friend so that we can have more people joining into the live for today. It's always a pleasure having persons here reading with us. So go ahead, guys. Tell us where you're from and all that good stuff. We want to hear where you're from. And we also want to hear how you're doing. Come on, guys, get active in the comment section. And also remember that there is a link that is placed in the comment section for anyone who wishes to come up on screen and read with us today. You do not have to use your camera, just use your voice and you'll be happy with that. So if you want to read English today, guys, aloud, there is a place. You're in the right place, okay? You're always in the right place. Be sure to share the video out. Let's have more people coming in to read with us. Be careful to share it out, guys. Let's have more persons coming to read with us today. We always welcome anyone who wishes to read. All right, guys. So we are going to be sharing our screen now because that's what we're here for. We're here to read, and we're going to be sharing our screen so we can begin our reading for today. And of course, we're going to continue with hobbies. Remember, we were reading about hobbies, and we said that hobbies is anything that we do to pass time, anything that we do for pleasure or for relaxation. We can call it a hobby. And when we use the word hobbies, then it means that we are doing more than one hobby. All right. So, guys, what is your hobby? If it is your first time, please comment in your comment section and tell us it's your first time. What is your hobby? Tell us what your hobby is. We want to know what your hobby is. So, what is your hobby, guys? Do you have hobbies? If so, what is your hobby? Well, for me, my hobby is reading. I like to read. Although these days I do not read as much, but reading is something that I really love to do. I also enjoy things like nature, anything that has to do with nature. I also like to interact a lot. Traveling is also one of my hobbies. However, I have not been traveling as much lately, but it's one of my hobbies. All right, guys, so let's get active. Let's begin our reading session for today. As we practice to read English, we are always going to look at how to decode words. When we say decode words, it simply means that we break the words down into parts and then we assemble them back together, or we put them back together by blending so that we can form the whole word. It is a good thing also to read using whole word. So we'll have that practice at the end. Once we have learned the words, we have learned the sounds in each word. Then we are going to have that practice where we're going to be putting or calling the whole word rather than putting into parts. Okay, so get active in the comment section, guys. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. And, if you're a beginner reader or learner of English, so I can know how to tailor the instruction to suit your English level, guys. And I'm so sorry for the noise in the background. It will pass soon. This noise is actually a plane that is flying overhead. So it's gonna pass soon. All right. So you hear it's fading away. Yeah. So it has faded now. All right. So now that the noise has faded, it's time for us to begin reading session. And today you'll see that we just have words, and these are the words that are difficult from the story. So we are going to be reading the words that might be difficult to call. Then we are going to go to the story itself, as in the page with the story, and we're going to see if you can remember those words. So let's begin. If you were here yesterday, we did this name, and this is a very popular name. The name, it can be pronounced in many different ways. However, I'm going to give you the most popular pronunciation or the most common pronunciation. So this is the one that you'd most likely hear whenever you see a name spelled this way. So we have eight, eight. The I makes a short sound, so it's eight. And then you have the CH making that sound ch. So here, H. Sorry, the sh sound. That's the sound that we hear. Rather than hearing ch like lunch, we hear sh like a machine, sh, the SH sound. So we hear ish, mish, and then we hear L. Two L make the same sound, so we make the sound for E, and we put them together. L. The other end is silent. So this name is Michelle. Michelle, popularly pronounced as Michelle. In a lot of English places, you may also hear where the CH is pronounced as K. So you may hear Mikkel in some places. But the most popular pronunciation would be Michelle. That's where the CH is treated with an SH sound. All right, guys, so you think you got that? Well, I hope you do, because that is a very important one for you to learn. Once you remember that, you will be able to call them. You add the S at the end, so you hear Michelle's, which means Michelle owns something there because the apostrophe S shows ownership, or it shows that something belongs. All right. So our next word, we have dur. G and R together, dur. We have a small word and we can build it a bit more to make the next small word and. So and, like when you're saying an egg, and when you're putting two things together, like I have a mango and a plum. So we have the word and grand. And grand means when something is big or it is fast or it is large. Then you have or th making the sound. So we get odd, mud, and the When we put this together, we have odd, mud, mother, mother. So the word here is mother. And mother, it is like your mommy. So mother also means the same as mommy. All right? It's just the formal way of saying mommy. Your mother, the woman who gave birth to you, that's your mother. The woman who gave birth to you, that's your mother. Another name for mother, mom or mommy. You can also use those. So when we put these together, then we have grandmother. Grandmother. Who is your grandmother? your grandmother is actually your bigger mother because the word grand means large or big. So your grandmother is that mother that is your bigger mother. And when we say your bigger mother, then what we are actually saying is that your grandmother is your mother's mother or your father's mother or your parents' mother. That's who you will call your grandmother. All right. So that's the next one there. Then we have the prefix re. So the E makes a long sound here. We hear re. And you can find this prefix in a lot of English words. Re. Then we have to. The I makes a sound. And the RE here, it does not say re. Instead, it says oh, So in this word, we hear re, to, retire, retire. And this is a very weird pronunciation here because this word, it is not sound as it is spelled, right? We expect to see the ER to say but instead of that, the IR is actually what is taking the role here to say But before the IR can say the I is making a long sound I, right? So it's very complex there. So here's where we hear we hear t, I, and then the same I will go with the R to say So we hear retire. So that's the breakdown of that word. The N is actually silent. All right. The N is actually silent. Okay. So always remember this word is tire, tire. And then we add the do sound. So we hear retired, retired, retired. When someone has retired, what does that mean? So if I retire, what does that mean? And you would retire from whatever you do. Like, for example, if you work, you retire from your work. So whenever you retire, it simply means that you have left that job or you have given up work or you have ceased to work, which means you don't hope to come back to it. All right. At this point, you get your pension, which means the money that was being put aside for you when you become a senior citizen, you would get that money. So retire would mean that you are an ex-employee or that you were a former employee. All right, and our next word now, well, the word, however, this is numbers, and we have to be very careful in calling numbers when we're reading in English. So here we're going to say 1979. We basically group the numbers in twos. So we say 1979. 1979. All right. So there we have those set of words. If you think you can remember the words, thumbs up to you. Very good. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please subscribe by hitting the like button. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep going. Remember, we are on a target to learn to read. Do you think you know all the words now? If you think you don't, then let me know, guys, so that I can go over words that you may be having problems with. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what words you think you might have problems with. All right, let's keep going. So we're going to the next set of words. To the next word, we have be, and we have ing, a, the ing says because it's together we get in. When we put the word together, we have being, being. And what does it mean when we talk about something being? So it simply means that this thing is existing, that this thing is living, this thing is actually in real life. What else can we say when this thing is real, right? So the main word you should remember is that this thing exists. Exist. That would be the main word that you should remember for being. When something is being, it means that it exists. All right, our next word we have pur, o, then pur. So we have pur, o, pro. Then we have pur, and then we have I. We have I, and then we have et and or. All right. Remember, I and E together can say I, it can say E, it can say E, and it can say E. So you can make all those sounds. The both long I sound, I and short I sound, and both long E sound and short E sound. Right? So this word, when you're calling it, always remember that the I says I, and then we have the E make a short sound to say E, like in the word diet. We would have the same pronunciation in the word diet. So here our word is pro, pro, then pur, and I, et, propriet, and proprietor, proprietor. Remember that the British, whenever they are sounding or at the end of words, er or or, they basically make a short song, which is like a puff of air that is called a schwa song. However, the Americans, they would roll that sound out. So that sound would be long. So you hear or all right, for the Americans. But for the British, you hear a very short sound. So here, our word is pur, o. The o makes a long sound. And this is a common variation in a lot of English words because it is used as a prefix. So, for example, in the word professional, you would hear that beginning put. And then you have true, again, er together. Then you have the I making a long sound I and E making a short sound E. So you have propriet, propriet, and all, proprietor, proprietor. So the word is proprietor. Who is a proprietor? Have you ever heard that word before? So a proprietor is someone who owns something, like they own a property, you would call them a proprietor. If they own a business, they would be called a proprietor. All right. So anybody that you know that is the owner of a business or of a property, then you call them the proprietor. So, for example, you may be the proprietor of your home, of your house, or if you have lands, you may be the proprietor of your lands, or it might be your husband, or it might be both of you own them, right? So both of you will be called proprietors. So you would add estate to make proprietors if it's both persons that own the land or the house. All right. Good. So we're doing well so far. Our next word, the A and I together says A. The I is silent, the A make the sound A. Remember, whenever two vowels come together, sometimes one would make a long sound, the next one stays silent. Sometimes one would make a short sound, the next one stays silent. It all depends. Sometimes both of them would make the sound. And in most cases, when both of them make the sound, one will make a long sound, one will make a short sound. Like in the word proprietor, we heard the I, and we also heard the E making a short sound. E. So we have put a, then we can add an NMT together, meet, as a consonant ending. So our word is put in, hint, hint. So that's the root word. Now remember, whenever we have words ending with ing, we call the first part of the word and then we have the ing sound which says it, ing, ing. So the energy together says so we get it, that's the short I sound, then we hear in, in. So we put the word together, we have paint, in, paint, in, painting, painting. What is a painting? Or what does it mean to paint? To be painting. So basically, when you're painting, all you're doing is that you're taking a substance that has color and you're spreading it or wiping it across a surface. And this would help to decorate that surface, or it would help to create a coating for that surface. So that coating would protect the surface from being damaged. Our word is paintings. Our next word, we have cooked, come. We have this short rhyme, like in words like tum and rum, those words. Then we have cook and an. Can you see our small word there? And so we have pan, like a frying pan. So we put the two together, we have tum pan. Y at the end makes a long E sound. Y at the end can make two sounds. It can make I or E. Now this one we are hearing E. A lot of the times Y makes the I sound in shorter words and Y make the long sound in longer words. Right? That's how you can really tell the difference between the sounds. So we have the word come, pan, company, company. So the word is company. What is a company? What is a company? So all of us from day to day, we have different companies. I'm sure that you have had a company before. So in this case, company here, it's not like you having a friend or you having someone in your presence that you call your companion or somebody that is close to you that you call your companion. It's not going to be in that sense. In this sense of the story, company here is going to be like a business, or it's going to be like a firm, an agency, or even like an office, or we can even call it like an organization, or maybe a group, or even a corporation. We can call a company in this case. All right. So in this case, we're talking about it as a business. All right. So our next word here, we have word E, and we hear the A. So in this one, the two of them, they are making a different sound. So we hear E, then we hear the short, long E sound, then we hear the short A sound, A. So we hear R, E, A, then R. E's at the end silent in this word, so the I would make a long sound. So we hear eyes. So our word is re, al, real, eyes, realize, realize. Now it's time for us to add the D sound. So the ED would make the D sound because we can actually hear the Z at the end or the Z at the end singing Z, and it creates a song that is voiced. So whenever it creates a song that is voiced, you would use the D sound for ED. So this word is realized, realized, realized. All right. So do not look for the small word real in the word. If you look for the small word real, then you call the word incorrectly. All right, because as you heard, it's realize, realize. If you look for the small word real, then you're going to say real eyes, realize. That would sound it'd be totally incorrect. All right. So if you understand, please put a thumbs up in the comment section, guys. Thank you. And if you haven't liked the video yet, please go ahead and like. All right. So what does it mean to realize something? So anytime you come to that point of realizing something, it simply means that this thing becomes clear to you, or this thing is something that you are aware of now, or it means that you understand it, or you can say you notice it, or you found it out, or you can say that you get to know it, or you can say it's something that you see, or something that you were able to take in. All those words and phrases you can use to mean the same as realize. So if I realize something, it means that it's clear to me now. It means that I understand it or I notice it. Good. Our next word we have could. O. We hear the long O sound. We do the L is silent and we hear it do. So we hear could or do. Could. Always remember for spelling purposes that there's a U and an L that comes after the O sound. So we hear could or the could. All right. When you use the word could, so if I say I could go to town tomorrow, then it means that this thing is possible. Anytime you hear the word could, it is used to always tell us of a possibility of something happening, that there's a great chance that this thing can happen. Okay? All right. We have the word to. You and I together, and me. To put it all together, we hear to, turn, turn. What does it mean when you turn? So maybe I'm standing or sitting and I move my body. It means that I turn. All right. So when I turn, it simply means that I spin. Spin is a word I can use. I rotate. It can mean that I have rolled. It can mean that I pivoted, or even that I maybe create a circle. All those can mean the same as turn. Or I just made a movement to the right or to the left. If I move to the right or to the left, I turn. If I move right around, making a 365, then I turn. All right. Hope that you guys are understanding. Please while share out the video. All right. Share it out with someone who might be interested in learning vocabulary and also learning phonics, how to read using phonics. Okay. When we learn phonics to learn how to read, it makes our reading clearer. All right. So we just did this word. So remember, the AI makes the sound A, the I silent, we hear A. So we say put in, and then you have meat, paint, and then in. We put it all together, we have painting, painting. So these two words are the same words. This one and this one, same words. Paintings. And remember what we said of painting is, or what painting is, as in the action. The action of painting, when you're doing it, it simply means that you use some sort of color, a substance that has color, and you spread it or you wipe it across the surface. And this is to decorate the surface to make it look pretty or attractive. And also, you would create a coating for it that can help to protect it. All right, so hope you got that word. By now, you should know that one, right? I guess you should. Especially if you were here from yesterday, you should know that word. And our next word here is hub. Hub. The two B's make one song because they make the same song. So we hear hub hub, and the Y at the end makes the E sound. Just like in company, we hear the Y at the end make the E sound. It's the same thing in the word hubby. So we have hub, E, hubby, hubby. And a hobby, that's what we've been talking about all week, is something that we do for pastime or in our pastime, something that we do in our leisure time. So leisure also means pastime. It's that time when we really seek relaxation or do something for pleasure. We call it a hobby. And this thing could be anything that we are interested in or we enjoy doing because it is something that we would find ourselves doing often. So, what is your hobby? Mine is reading, traveling, interacting. What about you? Let me see you guys put your hobby in the comment section. We did ask you guys put your hobby in the comment section. It's always good to know about other people. Where we're here to learn from each other. All right, so we're going to recall all those words and then we are going to be reading them. We're going to be reading them. So let's go ahead. Michelle, sorry guys, we need to get a brighter matter. So we're going to be trying to bring, let's go. Michelle's grandmother, retired, 1979, being, being, proprietor, 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 painting, 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 company, company, realized, realized, could, turn, turned, painting, painting, hobby, hobby, hobby. All right, guys. So now we are going to be reading on the screen where we're going to find all those words that we just learned and we've just called. Let's see how well we are able to read through them. Hi, Sassy, Sub, Baram, Raman. How are you doing, Sassy? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here again today, Sassy. How is everything? I appreciate you being here, Sassy. All right, guys. So now it's time for us to go ahead and we are going to, read these words mixed with other small words that hopefully we all know in English. We're going to be reading them together. Are you guys ready for that? Let's go. If you're ready, type ready in the comment section because I'm ready. Let's go. Can we see the words? I'm sure we can see them. Michelle's grandmother, retired, 1979, being, proprietor, painting, company, Michelle, realized, could, turn, and painting. And the final one, hubby, hubby, hubby. So we're going to read right up until hubby, okay? So let's see how well we're going to do at that. You have learned the words, as in whole words. You have also learned them by sounding them out, part by part. So now, guys, I'm expecting you to be very fluent. Let's see how fluent you can be. Thank you. Let's go ahead and let's begin. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979, from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby. All right. If you were able to do that, that's very good. Now let's practice to do it in phrases. That's where we read parts and try to get a grip within those parts that we're reading. So let's begin. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby. All right. So let's now practice how to read it very quickly. I hope that you are ready to read it quickly. Let's see if you'll be able to get it as we read it fast pace. Let's see how well you'll be able to get it if we read it fast pace now. Let's begin. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being, the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby. All right, so you guys, I'm sure that you got all that. Remember, guys, if you think you want to read it, then you can come up on screen to read with me. That would be so cool. Having you reading it would be my pleasure. Right? Remember, you do not have to turn on your cameras. You can just read by using your microphone so that we only hear audio. All right? And remember, the word audio means sound. All right. So we just read through the first part and now we're going to go through the second set of words because that's what we want to do. Ultimately, we want to be able to read all of the story. Great. So are we understanding the story thus far? Let me know if you are understanding the story thus far. If you understand the story thus far, let me know. I hope you do. All right. And guys, don't forget to share this with someone who might just be interested in learning how to read. That's what we want to do. We want to share with as many persons as we can who might be very interested in learning how to read. Right, so let's continue. So now we're going to do the other set of words, and then we're going to be reading that part. Then we would take it into a whole stride, which means we're going to be reading everything together. I hope that you're excited for that because I am excited for that. Let's go. So our next word is B. So we have the song for B. We hear B. Then we hear is. So here the U is actually making a song like I. So we hear A, Z. So we hear the S making the song like Z. Remember, I told you guys a lot of the times in English when S comes after a vowel or before a vowel, it takes a song like Z. So we hear B, we hear the U make a song like I. So we hear B is, biz, and then we hear U and S. S. Remember, two S, we need only one song because they need the same sound. So we hear S, ness. And this is an ending for a lot of English words because it is a suffix. It is added to English words. Okay? Ness. Like carelessness. That's ness being added to careless. So let's go again. We have B is, biz. So the I here is silent, so we have biz and s, business, business. So whenever you're spelling the word business, guys, you gotta be careful to remember that it's not an I, but a U that is making the short I sound there. And you gotta be careful that you remember that it is not a Z, but a S, making the Z sound. And then you gotta be careful, remembering that the I here is silent. All right? But next, you'll be able to spell that correctly. So, guys, there's a lot of things that you have to be aware of there or be on your guard with to ensure that you get them correctly. So, the word is business. What is a business? What is a business? When we talk about business, what are we really talking about? So, business is actually, it can refer to like your job or your profession or the trade that you do, your work. You can call it a business. However, a business is usually most often being called business because it is a commercial activity. It is something where you do trade, something where you buy or you sell, you talk about as a business. So when you buy services or you sell services, or when you buy goods or you sell goods, you would refer to it as a business. Okay? Do you think you understand? If you think you got that, then you are doing very well. Okay, our next word, we have up, then we have crew, O and R together, or apart. So we hear port, so we apart, and then we hear you and me and it, and the Y at the end makes an E sound. E sound. Remember I told you in longer words, the Y at the end will make a E sound. So here we have apart, and then you and me and it and it. So the word is opportunity. So we have up for two. Remember that you make a long new song. You and me and then it. So we get opportunity, 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 opportunity. What is an opportunity? So in our lifetime, there are many opportunities that we can get, right? I'm sure that you are aware of that there are many opportunities that we can get. So to gain an opportunity would basically mean that we get a chance of doing something, that something is possible, right? There is some sort of situation or circumstance that is made possible. And that we call it an opportunity. Or you can just call an opportunity a chance. A chance of doing something, that's an opportunity. All right. Our next word is the word click. We have the small rhyme up, like in map, the word map. So we have up, and then we have it. So we have up it, and then we have al, and the same thing like in realize, we hear al and eyes. So you see that same set of songs in this word. So we have capital, and then we have the end silent, and so the I would say I. So we have eyes eyes. So the word is capital, the root word capital. Then we say eyes, capitalize. So the word is capitalize. We add the D sound now, just like we did for realize. As you see, we end with the same ending, so which means the rhyme. So capitalized, capitalized. What does it mean to capitalize on something? Capitalized would mean the past tense because we see the ed added there. When you capitalize on something, what does that mean? So to capitalize on something, it simply means that you really take up the opportunity, right? So if I'm going to capitalize on something, it means that I am going to take up the opportunity that comes with this thing. All right. So you can capitalize on anything. And when you take up that opportunity, it simply means that all you're doing maybe is to make sure that this thing comes to a success by putting in your best effort into it, by even putting in like your wealth and so on into it to make sure that it comes out in a way that it pleases you or it works towards your benefit, right? So that is what it means to really capitalize on something. All right. So you can capitalize on anything. When you capitalize on it, just you invest and you put in into it your wealth, your maybe money, maybe your wealth as in your knowledge. Guys, your knowledge is also wealth. Always remember that. Um, Money is wealth too, but knowledge is a great form of. So our next set of words that we're going to discuss, guys, is I'm just going to do a check to ensure that you guys can hear me well still because I have moved my position due to the machine that's currently operating. So let's just do a check to make sure that we can hear me. Oh, nice. Okay, so you can hear me. Oh, Sassy says I'm fine. Thank you for another wonderful session. You're welcome, Sassy. Thank you so much for always being here. And please, you can share it out to persons that might be interested in learning these vocabulary and how to read. All right. So one of the things I would say is for you to capitalize on the session. I just taught you what capitalize means. It means to invest, put in your wealth, put in your knowledge, put in whatever you have, put in your time. All that is means to capitalize on something. You take the chance of doing this thing and to make investments into it. That is you capitalizing on it. So please capitalize on all these reading sessions, make them meaningful to your learning and also to others. If you can share them out, go ahead and share them. Our next word, we have st, listen together, st, and then we hear e. Remember, two P's make the same sound, so we only make one sound. So we hear st, e, and then we say the whole word step. Next, we add the ed. So we'll say step, step, and the ed here, the ed here would make a t sound. The ed here, guys, would make it a t sound. So let's get back to it. Sometimes anything can happen. And that's just a case of anything happening here. So the ed here makes a t sound. So we hear step, stepped, stepped. When you stepped into something, or when you make a step, what does that really mean? So remember the sound for the eating. What does it mean to make a step? So when you make a step, it means that you move forward. It means that you basically put your one foot before the other, and uh, that foot would go in front, and then you would be walking or running, depending on how fast you want to go. So you would pace yourself according to how you want to go, right? So to make a step means to actually make a movement forward, right? And you're making that movement forward by putting, or it could be backward too. It could be backward. So to make a movement forward or backwards by putting your feet one foot before the other, and it may be in a running fashion or in a walking fashion, and that's when you make a step. So in this sense, making a step would actually means that you are moving forward. So you have already um, got on the way to doing whatever you want to do by just making a little move. It could be a little move or it could be a big move. Either or, you call it a step. And that step would definitely allow you to be able to do this thing better, or, just put effort into whatever you're doing. It's like effort. Our next word, roll. So we have r, yeah, the end silent, then we hear the O, make a long song. So we hear O. Put it together, we have roll, roll. And this roll is not the typical roll that you're accustomed to when you like roll on your body. It's not that roll. That roll has two L's in it. This roll is like when you actually function as a particular person or in a particular position. So, for example, in a show, an actor would have a role, whether that actor is like a character in terms of a silly character, a character that caused drama, but they would have their role, whether that actor may be the villain or they may be the hero, that's their role. So role is actually talking about a character, or when you assume a position, you take up a position, right? You're being placed in that position and it's for a special purpose. You're being placed in that position. So, for example, at times you may take up a role of um, being an advisor to others. So sometimes friends, family members, they may come to you and seek your advice on things that are happening in their lives. And so you can take up a role of being an advisor in that person's life. I have had friends before who would come to me about situations in their life, and I had to take up that. Doesn't necessarily mean that that is what you are in terms of your job and so on, but you just assume the role, which means you just take it up to help them, or for a particular purpose, you or reason while you're doing it. Okay. Our next word, we have in, me. So with E, we have a long song and the me, in me, d, and A. You can see the small word A there. Yeah, the end silent, you hear the A say A, and we have me, and the right the end makes it in sound. So ly together can make leap or lie. In longer words, leap. In shorter words, lie. So we hear li. Let's go together now. In, me, the, and then here it and li. Immediately. So remember, the I here makes a short sound, okay? So we hear immediately. Our word is immediately. All right. Really well, so fast, so good. And what does immediately means? If I ask you to get me something and I say, hey, can you get it immediately? That means getting it fast. Are you getting it now? Right? Or instantly, right? Those are words you can use to talk about immediately. Immediately, we can also refer to it as quickly or speedily, right? But when you get something right away for someone, or instantly, or at once, and now you would say that it's immediately. Good. Our next word is and this word before at the top. And by now, those of you who are here, you should remember it. So we have good and small word and we make it a bit longer and as in when you join two things. So we have grand, which means something that's big or large. And then we have or th makes the d sound. So we have mud and So our word there is mother, mother. So mother, mother. When we add the s at the end, we have mothers, mothers. Remember, whenever you have the apostrophe, which is this thing, it's used to show ownership. It's used to show that something belongs to someone else. All right. So we have grandmothers, grandmothers. Or what is grandmothers? All right. So as it says, wrestlers capitalizing from his opponent falling from the top rope. Okay. So a wrestler is capitalizing from his opponent falling from the top rope. Yes, a wrestler can capitalize from his opponent. So then it would be uh, wise to try to include what they're capitalizing on, right? So, for example, a wrestler is capitalizing on his opponent being below him, and so he falls from the top rope. Okay, so it would be good to add what he's capitalizing on. Do you think you understand? So this wrestler is capitalizing from his opponent being at the bottom of the rope, and so he falls from the top rope to defeat him. All right, so that would make it sounds more idiomatic or sounds more natural. Okay, if you understand it, if you think yes, then you can let me know. But it is correct to use it in this way, but you will need to add a little more details so your readers will be able to understand, or your listeners. Okay, so let's keep going. Our next word is and then whenever C comes before E, I, or Y, we hear a song like S. So number two C's, we make one sound because they're the same sound. So we're going to say up, suck. Uh-huh. Commentators will be saying, can he capitalize? Yes, the commentators would be able to say that yes, the commentators would be able to say that he's capitalizing on his opponent's fall. Yeah, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the commentators will be able to say that. And this is correct. The one with the commentator, that is correct. Yes, yes, very good. Nice. So you understand it very well. That's good. All right. So we have up, So here we hear the C. The first C makes a sound like K. So we hear suck, and then we hear S. Remember, when C comes before E, I, or Y, it makes a sound like S. So this C is actually going onward to make the song S. And then we hear S. One song only for these two S. And then we hear So let's now put this all together. The first C makes a sound like K, all right? The first C makes a sound like K. So we hear up, suck, and then success, and then we hear or. So we hear success or successor. Remember, I told you guys that in the British pronunciation, you're going to hear a shorter sound for or ER at the end. So in the word successor, as the British would pronounce it, successor, but the Americans would say successor, successor. So they would take it a bit longer. All right. So always remember that in successor, the first C makes a k sound and the second one makes a sound. So here in this word, the two C's are divided, right? And you do have words like that, but when you meet two letters that are the same, they can make one sound. In most words, they would make one sound, but sometimes they can be divided where they make two different sounds, even though they are the same. And this is an example here. The first C making the sound like K, and the second one making a sound like S. Successor. So successor is a very easy one to get because successor here, we hear the word success. The fact that we hear the word success, we know that this has to do with something being done very well. We know that when some person has achieved something, they have achieved whatever they desire, right? Their results were good. That they have triumph, do well. All right. So a successor now would actually be somebody from have done well, and that person would have been able to achieve something, is going to benefit from that. They have somebody that is next in line, somebody who's going to inherit. Okay, so a successor would be somebody that follows in a person's footsteps, right? Or somebody who gets that title or position or job after you have completed or after someone else has completed it. So let's take an example with the royal family. In the case of the royal family, whenever the king or the queen dies, then they would have their successor. This would be somebody who would take over the reign from them or the rule from them. All right. All right. Our next word, O-U-G-H, we hear O. So it makes a sound like O-R. The O-U makes a sound O, and the G-H is silent. For spelling purposes, always remember that this is a G and H together after the OU, making the O sound. However, in the British English, we just put OUGH together and we'll say it makes 7 different sounds. In this word, the song that it makes is or. There are 6 more songs that you need to learn. that OUGH makes. So always look out for English fonts because you got to know which ones to use, when, and how to use them. And they basically don't have any rules. So time you would know the words that would make the song and it becomes easy for you. All right. It takes practice. So the word is bought. OUGH making the O sound. Always remember the spelling is not OR, the spelling is OUGH. This bought is the past tense for the word buy. So the word buy, like when you go to the shop and you purchase something, which means that you um, give them money to get what you want in the shop, we would say that you buy something. That would be the present or the action that happens now. But bought would be when it's already gone. You have already done it. Our next word, we have odd, mud, and then we have mm, so we have mud, earn. So mud, earn, modern, modern, modern. All right. Our word here is modern. When something is modern, it means that it is basically, you might hear somebody to the time when they are referring to something that is modern, and that's a slang that you can use. They very common, and it is issue just a while ago. Can you guys still hear me? Please let me know if you can still hear me. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sassy. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that the screen was blank. Yes, I was just having an issue. And you guys noticed that I went on to the other word. I went on to the other word. I can't want to die. Okay, I went on to the other word, not noticing that you guys were not hearing. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna be doing the words over for you guys. Right? I'm gonna be doing the words over. My apologies for that. I'm so sorry. So the last word I think you guys heard was the word uh bought. I think you guys heard up to the word bought. So let me know if bought was the last word that you heard. So I'm gonna be doing from that word. Let me know if bought was the last word you heard. I think that was the last one you heard, bought, this one. So I'm gonna be doing from mutton. So this word, I'm actually gonna have to use the same thing to show you that. So this word we hear then we hear odd, and so we hear mud, so we hear mud, earn. When we put it together, we have modern, modern. And when something is modern, it means that that thing is new, or it means that that thing is actually something that is. Can you hear me now? Let me know, Sassy. Thank you. When something is modern, it means that it is new, or we can say that it is the latest. I don't know if you have ever heard someone say, I want the latest iPhone, or I want the latest camera, or I want the latest shoe, Nike shoe, or the latest uh, Jordan shoe, or the latest of some sort of a brand. That would mean that they want the one that is current, or the one that is in the present time, or the one that is now trending. All right. So anything that is modern is something that is the latest, something that is new, or something that is now trending, something that is modern. So latest would be a word that you can use formally. Okay? And you would hear a lot of English speakers use that word. They would say, I want the latest top. I want the latest shoes. I want the latest bag. Yeah. Especially when they're talking about brand names like Louis Vuitton and all these brands. I want the latest one. Very much so. All right. So let's go to the next word. Our next word is to. Two O's together says ooh. And the L makes the sound. Put them together, we hear to, ooh, two, two. Then we add z at the end. So we hear tools. And the song that the S makes here at the end is a z sound. So we hear two, oohs, tools, tools. Our word is tools. What is a tool? So a tool is basically the instrument or device that you use to do something. Tools are equipments. So these are the words that you can use for tools. Equipments, device, instruments, or sometimes you might have a toolkit that you're using to do your job. All those are your tools. As a student, your tools for learning English would be your books, your pencil, your pen, uh, also your tablets or laptops so that you can view your videos. All those would be your tools or your instruments or your devices that you would use to learn English. All right. Think you got that one? If you do, say, yeah, I do. Our next one is you and I together, So we have fun. And then we have the I makes a short I sound A. So we have fun A. Then Ture in English actually says ch, like in the word picture. So the word picture, you see that same spelling for that ending. It says ch. So the T is actually making a CH sound, and the UR is saying on the E silent. That's how you form ch. The T makes a CH sound, so T can also make a CH sound, making ch. And then the UR says and the E at the end is silent. So TURE in English says ch in a lot of words, not all words, but in most words, you hear that sound. Like picture, capture, rapture, all those words, that's the song that you hear. All right, so our word now is fun, A, the short I sound, and ch, furniture, furniture. And furniture is actually those fittings that you have in your house or in your home. So, for example, like your bed, your chair, your couch, tables, and so on, those are what you would call your furnitures. So, sorry, and you heard me say furnitures. Guys, furniture is always used as it is, whether it's plural or singular. No S is added to it to change it. It is used the same in the singular form as it is used in the plural form. Okay? So it always stays constant. It is always furniture. So furniture is actually the large movable equipment that you have in your table, bed, your desk, and all those things, you call them your furniture. All right. And this is the word furniture. Our next word is the word and we see that rhyme in words like ten and men, n. Then we have an. So we have in hand. And when C comes before E, I, or Y, we hear a song like S. So we hear S. So our word here is enhance. Enhance. The E at the end is silent. Always remember that for spelling purpose, that it has an E at the end when you're spelling. So our word, when we put it together, we have enhance. Enhance. All right. So E is silent. And what does it mean when you enhance something? When you enhance something, it simply means that you make it more beautiful, right? Or you make it better, or you improve it. So to enhance would mean to make it better, to improve it, or that you basically, just make it increase, or even maybe you can say you add to it. You can also say you add to it, or like you strengthen it, or you boost it, or you build it up, or you enrich it. You you just lift it in terms of how it may look or what it does. You allow it to work better. Then you would say that you enhance it. You enhance, you add value to it, or you just eh, like expand it or improve it. And the final word here is stu, SNT together. The U makes a short U sound, that sound that we hear with the two O's. So we hear stu, oo, When we hear D, the I makes it sound E and O. Studio, studio. So we hear the I makes the song there, the short song. So we hear stu, stood, A, and O. So we hear studio, studio, studio. The word is studio, studio. And what is a studio? So a lot of times when we hear about studio, we think of a place where music is being made, where people would sing and that kind of stuff, right? But it's not just only for musicians. Our studio is actually where artwork is being done. So where artists work, where uh, photographers work, where sculptors work, where musicians work, all those places you can call them a studio. A lot of the times these days, a studio or where videos are being filmed or television programs are produced, you can call that a studio. A lot of the time these days, a studio is actually just referred to as a workroom, a place where people work, a workroom or workshop, you would call that a studio. A place where you study, you would also call that a studio. A place where you have your office, you can also call it a studio. So these days, it is just basically a place where work is produced, right? So our word, studio. All right. And if you see studio, you can also know the word audio because studio looks a lot like audio. All we need is the A to get the word audio. That's why it's good to learn words and their combinations so that you can call other words when you see other words with those same combinations. All right, guys. So now that we know the words, we're going to say them over and then we're going to be reading the text with these words. So let's go ahead and call the words. Enhance, enhance, furniture, furniture, furniture. Remember, furniture, S is never added to it when it turns plural. It stays the same. Tools, tools, modern, 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 bought, 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 studio, 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 roll, roll, immediately, 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 grandmothers, grandmothers, successor, successor, stepped, stepped, capitalized, capitalized, opportunity, 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 business, business, business. All right, guys. Now I expect you to know all the words. So we are going to be reading that part where we are going to be calling all those words mixed with other small words in English that we might be so familiar with. So let's begin. If you're ready, say ready and let's go. Into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. All right, now it's time for us to read in phrases. Remember when we read in phrases, we're going to be reading a couple of words together. Into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. All right, so we just read using phrases. Now we are going to be reading using sentences. So we want to hear the full sentence styles. Let's go. Sorry guys, I gotta erase because don't forget the words, don't forget them, please do not forget them. Right. So we're gonna read it now, and then after that we're gonna read from the top and make sure that we have it fluently. So let's begin to read. All right, guys, let's go. Into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. Wow. If you were able to do that, give yourself a tap because you did really good. Let's try it again. One more time. You see, reading English can be very easy. With practice, it becomes so easy. Let's begin. Into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. How was that, guys? Was that so difficult? Was that so difficult? I don't think so. But if you think so, that's fine. But we're going to try our best now to read right through. And we're going to do it slowly. Then we're going to build up to a quicker pace. All right? So let's begin. Ready? When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. How was that, guys? Do you think you have that together? If you think you have that together, please put yes in the comment section, guys, because I want to see your yeses, because I'm going to take off all the marks from the screen now, and we're going to read through like we have never had any sort of foundation. You're going to read through like there has not been any sort of foundation on these words. All right. We're going to see if we can call all the words first. Then we're going to read through by reading close to perfect. All right. Or perfect. Let's go. And we're not going to call the words in order. We're going to call them anyhow. And that's to see if you remember them. Grandmother, retired, proprietor, painting, realized, could, Michelle's, 1979, company, capitalized, stepped, hobby, painting, turned, immediately, bought, studio, modern, tools, furniture, enhance, successor, grandmothers, opportunity, business, role, being. All right, if you were able to call all those words, I can see you reading it very fluently now. If you're ready to read it, let's go ahead and read. Ready, ready, ready? Let's read. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. Guys, did you get that? Were you able to do that? I believe you were because trust me, you've done all this before. Maybe you were a bit slower than I was, and that's fine. But once you were able to read the words, I would say congratulations. Yes, guys, once you were able to read the words, I would say congratulations, right? That's what is important. You being able to read the words. I want you to be able to read the words as best as you can. Okay? So, guys, we're going to read one more time. We're going to read one more time. I'm just going to take a little short, little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I know this, maybe some of you are watching ads or something. So we're going to be, and thank you guys for supporting by watching the ads. I appreciate it. So if you guys can watch the ads on the videos, that would be very helpful for us. All right, so let's go ahead and let's begin reading again. We're going to read now from the beginning. Let's begin. Ready? Let's go. When Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. We bought some modern painting tools and new, sorry guys, furniture to enhance the studio. Guys, I just popped around a bit, right? That's why it's good to take in deep breaths whenever you're reading. This word in English says cough, and I'm highlighting that word because I did OUGH in the word bought, and I told you in bought we hear or. That's where the OU make the O sound and the G is silent. In the word cough, the OUGH, the OU makes the sound off. Makes the sound off, as in the small word off, and the GH is silent. So in cough, you hear a different sound for the GH. Remember, I told you there are 7 sounds. So as I coughed, I just decided to highlight that for you so you can also understand what's the OUGH you're hearing in the word cough. And if you never know that, then you would spell the word incorrectly because a lot of persons would spell it COFF, cough, like coffee, but no, it's not that. It's OUGH, making a sound of cough. All right, so that's a mini lesson for you there, guys. And I hope that was helpful for you. So let's read this one more time and then we're going to stop there. And then we are going to basically talk if anybody wants to come up and read, then it's your turn to read after we read it one more time. So let's go ahead and read it one more time. Then it's your turn. If you want to come up on screen and read it, we'd appreciate you coming up and read it. Yeah. So let's begin. When Michel's grandmother retired in 1979 from being the proprietor of her painting company, Michelle realized that she could turn her painting hobby into a business opportunity. So she capitalized on it and stepped into the role immediately as her grandmother's successor. She bought some modern painting tools and new furniture to enhance the studio. How was that, guys? I hope that that was good for you and that you were able to read it fluently. If you were able to do that, let me know in the comment section, guys. Now it's time for any questions that you may have. If you have any questions, guys, please type in the comment section, or you can come up on screen and ask your question. That would be great too. But you can come up on screen and ask any questions that you may have. Any questions? Any questions? Going once, going twice. And questions. Anyone have any questions? All right, so we move on from the questions and we go back to answer two questions from the story. So the first question is a right there question. What year did Michelle's grandmother retire? What year did Michelle's grandmother retire? So it's helpful to always look for the word and find the word retire because this is right there, which means it's there in the story. You look for the word that it's asking about, grandmother and retire, and you can find the answer. So the question is, what year did Michelle's grandmother retire? Here we find the word grandmother, retire, Michelle, and so we can find the answer right along here because it's a right there question, which means it's there in the story. So to answer the question, we'll say Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979. So Michelle's grandmother retired in 1979. Or you can say Michelle's grandmother retired in the year 1979. Michelle's grandmother retired in the year 1979. All right. Next question. Next question. What were some things that Michelle did when she stepped into the role of taking over her grandmother's studio? What were some things that Michelle did when she stepped into the role of taking over her grandmother's studio? So remember, this one is a think and search because you're going to find answers in different lines in the story. So, what were some of the things that Michelle did when she took over the role of her grandma, or when she took over her grandmother's studios? So, we're going to look for role. What did she do? So, some of the things Michelle did when she took over her grandmother's studio were firstly, she bought some modern painting tools, and next or secondly, she bought new furniture to enhance the studio. So those were two things that she did when she took over her grandmother's studio. All right. What made Michelle realize that she can own her own studio? What what made Michelle realize that she can own her own studio? What made her realize that she can own her own studio? All right. So what made her realize that she can own her own studio was when her grandmother retired in 1979. Okay. So when her grandmother retired in 1979, that made her realize that she can own her own studio. And that is because she realized that when her grandmother retired, it means that she has ceased work, which means she has stopped working. She is an ex-worker or a former worker. She no longer needs to work. When you retire, it means that you no longer need to do that work because you've been paid for the years that you've served in that company. And so she realized that she can now take it over. All right. So it was the retirement of her grandmother that caused her to realize that she can own her own studio. All right. So, guys, what do you think about today's reading session? Did you learn anything new? Let me know if you have learned anything new. If there's anything new that you guys have learned, please guys let me know if you have learned anything new in the comment section. Now we can free talk about what we were reading about. So we can free talk about some of the topics like retirement. We can also free talk in English using conversation about retirement. We can talk about the year 1979. There might be things that we want to talk about that. We can talk about grandmothers. We can talk about paintings. We can talk about capitalizing on an opportunity. We can talk about being a proprietor, being an owner of something. What do you wish to free talk about? So now it's time for us to free talk. You see that you've answered the questions and the story. Now we can free talk about anything that has surfaced in our reading. We can free talk about grandmothers. We can free talk about the storyline. We can free talk about retirement. We can free talk about the year 1979, about being a proprietor, about painting, about business companies. We can free talk about hobbies, about capitalizing on opportunities. We can talk about stepping into a role of doing something. We can talk about being a successor. We can also talk about different modern paintings that you have seen. We can talk about tools. We can talk about something that you bought. We can talk about furniture. We can talk about something that you have enhanced. Or we can talk about studio. So guys, let me know if you want to please talk so I can put my computer to charge because the battery is running low. And if you wish to talk, we can do so. If not, I can just end this session right here. So let me know if you guys want to free talk. I'm up for anything that you guys wish. All right. So basically, I put my computer to charge now, so we're fine. Do fine. Cool. So let me know which one you want to do. If you guys want to free talk about anything that you've covered, any of those topics. All of these can be great. You can keep track about all of these basically. So all these can go into different topics. So I'm giving you time guys to tell me if you want to free talk and we can free talk. You have the time guys. Let me know if you want to free talk. Sure. All right, let me see if you guys hear me. Can you guys hear me? Look for something that show it. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Is it can hear me? My name's a black dog. Content advice that she gets. So you guys can hear me. Right. So guys, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Alright, so now I know this you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. So let me know what you guys, if you guys want to talk or if it's amazing to see what you guys are going to say about free talking. Alright guys, so I would end the session here, seeing that I'm not getting any response about the free talk session. Right. I hope next time that we can really get the free talk about any topic that comes out of our reading and that it could be something that's interesting to you. Thank you so much for taking your time out to be here to read English. I really hope that you guys can be here again to read again. If there's nothing from the story that you don't need to free talk about, it's fine. But if there's something that you wish to free talk about, please let me know. And maybe next time I can just do a full free talk session where we just free talk on different topics. But please guys, you can let me know what topics you are interested in talking about if you want to free talk so that I can have pictures. You can just look at pictures and you can talk. You can have conversations in English about different things. So type in the comment section your topic you wish to talk about, and definitely I'd be willing to talk about them. All right. So thank you so much for being here. You can type them even after the session has come to an end. I would see them and I would definitely respond to them. Thank you, one and all, for being here. Thank you, Sassy, for always being a avid watcher of this channel or a avid viewer of this channel. That's a better way to say it. Thank you so much for always being here. You always show interest in what is going on here. You are always enthusiastic about it. And so that's why I call you an avid watcher or an avid viewer would be preferred to say it, which means that we're always eager and ready to learn English. And so it was a pleasure having you here, learning English uh, or teaching you English. So I want to wish you guys a good day if it's daytime, a good night if it's nighttime, good afternoon, it's afternoon time, whatever time of the day it is. And I'll be back here in a few hours from now, maybe 5, 6 hours from now, or 7. Yeah. So if you guys want to tune in again, please feel free to tune in. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to comment and let me know what topics you want us to talk about. If there's something in the story, comment it in the comment section. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again soon.